Good morning, everybody. It is just after 9 o'clock, a Friday morning. We're about to bring in the first minutes of spring here. And I'm wearing my shirt representing you. The you. It is a shout out day, the sensations. So, woo, woo, the you.
I got South Carolina. Go Cox.
Go Cox.
Woo!
Majestic. What do you, we're combining all of it. We're combining all of it. I'll change. I'll look a little bit more professional. But I just wanted to give you a little shout out. Sensation. That was my dance team.
Yeah.
They turned 40 this year.
Good for y'all.
Founded 40 years ago. So.
I love that you were on the dance team. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
How fun is
the
that?
Sensations. I was
Yeah.
captain
Good for you.
back in the day
Yep.
when Miami was Miami. When Miami was Miami.
I didn't wear any colors. I was thinking more spring. I forgot.
Oh no, we did it all.
We did it all.
We did it all. Spring.
Yeah.
Basketball. Do we have teams?
Basketball.
Miami's playing today.
Okay.
The ladies,
The ladies.
the Gamecocks are playing tomorrow. No.
Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow at 1.
All right.
They're the top seed for the women's
Go girls.
bracket.
Go girls.
I have high expectations.
Oh, okay.
You know
and
what I mean?
yeah.
Do you guys, are you like big time college basketball watchers?
No.
Okay.
Not really, but I mean, when the women play, I watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play when the women are like right there
Right.
in it.
In.
Doing
Yeah.
it. I follow Miami.
Right.
I don't follow sports
Same.
per se, right?
Gotcha.
I follow University of Miami.
Yeah, I'm a
and
Gamecocks
maybe
girl.
and maybe the Dolphins if they're okay.
Right.
And maybe the Miami Heat.
Okay.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
If I was to wear something, it'd be Gonzaga, which is a small
Sure.
school.
Yeah.
But a basketball
They're a
school.
And everyone like doesn't know what Spokane, Washington is until
That's right.
Until Gonzaga's doing so good. That's where I'm from. So
Great.
for them.
All right.
It's like an oddball out. People don't think of. I mean, you think about them because they're good.
They're
but
good.
they
Right.
A
aren't
historically
really
good basketball
necessarily
school.
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah. Well, it's your time.
It's your time.
All right. Shout out to everybody. And let's talk about the good stuff too. Spring. Spring is in the air.
You love spring.
Been waiting for this
do.
for so long.
It's great because it's the perfect weather for the first day of spring. Like, it is
Yes.
so nice today. It's gorgeous from sunrise to sunset. And the best part is that conditions all weekend long will be fantastic.
You look like an Easter egg Barbie
Basket.
basket.
You know what I mean?
Easter egg Barbie basket.
That's what I want for Easter.
Oh, that's
got
funny.
the-
Somebody
right?
told
Look
me
at
it
that shot.
reminds,
Look at the
it reminds them
flutter
of
sleeve.
like a
Flamenco.
flower. A
Yeah.
Okay, let's add it.
You are
Butterflies.
hilarious. Flamingo.
No, flamenco. Flamenco dancing.
Flamenco. I was thinking
Oh, I thought you
yeah.
said flamingo.
Flamenco.
Ooh, I
Butterfly.
like that.
Mariah Carey's butterfly. Butterfly. That's butterfly sleeves.
So there you have it. An Easter egg Barbie flamenco butterfly
Basket.
basket.
I'll go with it. I love
Yeah.
it.
All right,
I
there
brought
you
out the
go.
bright colors. First day of spring. We're not officially there yet. Technically, we're still in winter, but let's
fine.
get to it because it is so pretty outside. Temperatures are feeling comfortable this morning, going to warm up nicely this afternoon. Officially, spring starts at 10:46 this morning. So by the time you're picking up kids after school or you're heading home after work today, it is officially springtime. It's going to be beautiful really through all of our day today. This is live this morning coming in from Lake Norman. I know this is going to be a very popular place to be this weekend, because temperatures are just about perfect today into the mid 70s and then rising into the 80s Saturday. On Sunday, almost 90 degrees. So it's going to get kind of hot. And plenty of times when I've been to Lake Norman and it's not hot outside, I mean, people who have boats, like to go fishing, live on the water, there's still tons of boats out there. So if you have a boat, it'd be a great weekend to take it out. Let's look at a few of our headlines. So today is all about the warmer weather, first day of spring, above average temperatures are on the way. Today, plan for mid 70s. Perfect conditions to get outside if you want to grab some lunch with some friends. It'd be a good day to do that. Hopefully you can keep it outside. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll be heating up fast with temperatures back into the 80s, near record-breaking warmth on Sunday. We'll be getting really close to 90 degrees. And then next week, we do have a slight cool down. Currently, we're into the 30s and 40s across the area, 35 degrees there in Boone, almost 50 degrees here in the Queen City. And through the rest of the day today, You will see, this is important to note, you will see more cloud coverage throughout our Friday afternoon and evening. So the most amount of sun that we'll have will be this morning. We'll stay dry all throughout the day. Temperatures still warm, but it will become increasingly cloudier. So I'd say by 3, 4, 5 o'clock, it's going to be warm. It's going to feel pleasant, but is it going to be the most beautiful afternoon? Unfortunately, not so much, but at least we're starting out the day with plenty of sunshine. Those winds start to kick up today. They'll be moving in from the south and the west, and because of that, that's helping to usher in some of the warmer air. That's helping to keep those temperatures nice and warm for us. Some of our winds will be gusty up to around 20 miles an hour. Not the strongest winds, but enough to help keep those temperatures warm. Up in the mountains today, you have really improved. Earlier this week, your daytime highs were in the 20s. You didn't even reach 30 degrees, and today, we're just blasting that heat. 63 degrees there in Banner Elk and 64 in Boone. So maybe you're packing up the family, you're heading to the mountains this weekend. It's going to be really gorgeous. 76 in Morganton today, 75 there in Maiden. Heading down to the south, right around Charlotte, we're at 76 this afternoon, and much of the same out towards Gastonia and Shelby. And then to the south even more, it's pretty steady across the area from mid-70s in Wadesboro to 76 there in Rock Hill. Now, if you're new to the area, or if you're just curious, is this normal to be this warm this time of the year? What is the normal? It's always important to kind of keep that in mind. 65 degrees is where we should be. Today, we're going to be over 10 degrees warmer than that. So 76 is where we'll top off today. More cloud coverage into the afternoon, and then Saturday and Sunday, do you have any plans? There's lots of things going on this weekend. Charlotte FC game on Saturday. There's the start of the farmers markets. A lot of them are going to start starting on Sunday. 88 degrees on Sunday, almost 90. I mean, that is going to be a really warm day, and I think Sunday is going to be the most beautiful day out of our weekend because we'll have the most amount of sunshine. Pollen, though, not looking great. Everything is blooming. Allergies are worsening. If you suffer from allergies, I know you've already been feeling it, and unfortunately, it's going to worsen through Sunday straight into Monday. So do what you need to do to make sure you're taking care of yourself and your family and doing those little things that do help this time of the year. Satellite and radar looks great. A few high clouds will sneak in as we head towards the later half of the day, but as of now, it is perfect outside. We're dry today through Sunday, and then heading into Monday, spotty rain chances return. Spotty meaning it really isn't going to impact you much at all. Tuesday, we're dry again. Wednesday, isolated chances. So another big part of the weather story is it's warm. We're going to stay dry. We'll have plenty of sunshine, but overall, we're still really lacking our rain opportunities. Here's our futurecast to 8 o'clock. I wanted to take you into tonight because if you have any plans for your Friday night, we will have clouds out there. You can see Futurecast in area shaded in white. That's just indicating the cloud coverage. But those clouds, they'll help to keep temperatures actually rather warm. So heading into tomorrow morning, it's not going to be so cold because remember when we have clouds, they act like a blanket. They help to keep things insulated. So it's going to help those temperatures from dropping significantly overnight. So Saturday morning, if you're heading out early in the day, it should be beautiful. If you're heading out to the golf course, if you're meeting up with some friends, it's going to be a great time to even take the kids to the park. Heading into Saturday afternoon, just a good mix of sun and clouds, and then Sunday, I mean, we're talking about hardly any cloud coverage whatsoever on Sunday, and for that reason, Sunday is my favorite day out of our 7-day forecast. For tomorrow, notice cloudy skies to start the day with some sunshine peeking through, so kind of reversing what we're seeing out there today. But one thing that's in common is today is warm. Tomorrow's even warmer with 80-degree temperatures returning. And yes, that's way far above where we should be for this time of the year. We're going to be 17 degrees above our average on tomorrow's for Saturday, 22 degrees above our average for Sunday. And then next week, we do have a little bit of a dip on Tuesday with temperatures into the low 60s, but then again, they just continue to rise back up. So we're known in March to see these huge fluctuating temperature swings going all over the place, and this week has been a pretty good example of that, where we've had mornings start out into the 20s and 30s. We've had some strong storms with the warmth and kind of a little bit of humidity building, and now we're basically just above where we should be, but more summer-like conditions are on the way. There's that weekend forecast. Again, 83 on Saturday, 88 on Sunday, and breaking down our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, it is going to be stunning. Our average low for this time of the year, we should wake up into the low 40s. That's the normal low temperature. We'll be well above that tomorrow morning, 56 to start out your Saturday, then very similar Sunday morning, no problems. Monday even, low 80s. That'll be a nice way to start out the week, kind of helping to ease us back into our new work week. At least we know we have warm, sunny weather to look forward to. Even on Tuesday, as temperatures drop into the low 60s, it's not going to be bad. Still a lot of sunshine and just a couple of degrees cooler than our normal. And then back up we go with upper 60s, low to mid 70s. So you guys, we don't have any big issues in the weather forecast. It looks really, really nice and comfortable. And I know lots of people just can't wait to spend some time outside.
For sure. I'm got a thing tomorrow, the ALS workshop
Yes.
for caretakers
That's right.
and education. That is at the Park Church.
You're
but after
emceeing
that,
that event,
I'm
correct?
emceeing that event.
Okay.
But afterwards, yes, I'm going to meet the crew out, do something.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, so leave some room out there on the lake.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be nice. I think the only thing when I'm thinking about the forecast, like what I want to do is I know there will be clouds here and there. I love
Oh,
a
okay.
perfectly sunny weekend. This is not going to be perfectly sunny all throughout the daytime hours. So you
Oh,
will
okay.
have some cloud coverage here
I'm
and there,
okay with cloud
but temperatures will still be nice. Even in the morning, waking up to like mid 50s
Oh, yeah, that's
and
good.
then
Yeah.
rising into the 80s. So not bad.
All right, do we have turkey plans?
We got Weenie Meetup on Sunday.
Weenie Meetup. That's
So
a perfect day
It's
for
gonna be
it.
so- They're gonna love it. Oh my god, the Weenie.
Do you guys
are
go to
gonna
the
love
same spot or do you switch
it.
it up?
We switch it up.
Fun.
We switch it up every time.
Yeah.
I honest to God can't remember off the top of my head where this one is this weekend.
Oh, really? Not Whitewater?
No, it's not Whitewater. I don't know where it is. It's gonna be nice wherever it is.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Shout out to NC Weens.
All right, NC Weens. How about you, Majestic?
I'm going to meet some friends at Optimus Hall tonight.
Yay!
Have a little
Okay.
dinner, hang out outside.
Cute.
Nice.
And then in South End, they have the Camden Hall, or the Camden, what's it called? Camden Commons. I think
Okay.
that's what it's
Okay.
called. It's basically their big, huge farmer's market that they
Okay.
do like once a
Oh,
month.
yeah.
Where you can get those huge, big bundles of flowers that you see people walk around
Love.
in. It's like this whole street is blocked off with tons of different booths and stuff. So
Ooh.
That's
I'm
fun.
excited to go to that.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'll do that on
Great
Sunday.
time for it. Oh, yeah, tonight there is a free outdoor live music thing out in Lincoln County I might be going to.
Fun.
So.
Music.
I love it.
Music, the
I love
live
a little
mu-
live music.
I
found this
love live
event, I
music.
think it's coming up maybe this month or next month on the Catawba River. You go canoeing or kayaking, whatever, but they have like a live music on the river.
That's so cool.
Like people have their instruments on this float, and you just kind of like paddle
Float
next to
by.
them.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that fun?
That is so
That's
much
great.
fun.
Yeah.
When does that take place?
I think it's sometime this month or next month.
I like this calendar of events. So
Yeah.
if you know, drop us a line.
Yes.
And we'll pass it on.
Yeah.
Where we don't want to be. I'm glad we're not going to be there this weekend, Carlene. We're not going to be at the
Where?
airport.
No.
We're not going to be at this airport.
Let's see.
That is Houston?
That is Houston, correct.
Okay. And this is Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Oh,
Wee.
these are live
Oh no.
pictures right now coming in through the TSA lines. We've heard about it.
Jackson,
We're
Atlanta,
seeing
yeah.
it. People are leaving for spring break.
The weekend.
Yeah.
It's a
and People
weekend.
fly out on Fridays.
I mean, this is going to be
Do you guys
rough.
like the airports? Because some people love airports, some people hate it. Are you in the middle? Do you have a preference?
I'm in the middle.
You fly out a lot more than I do.
I do because I fly out so much. I'm part of
Yeah.
the club.
The club.
You know, you
Yeah.
got to be in the club. So
I
if
need
I
to
can
be in the
get some
club.
lounge seats,
Sure, yeah.
you know,
fly
belly
often, so yeah,
belly
right.
up to the bar.
Right.
There you go.
100%.
I'm like
That
you
makes
know,
it much more enjoyable,
makes-
I would
Oh,
imagine.
yes.
Jason, you're gonna catch
My
me with a Bloody
goodness.
Mary at the airport. Yes, man.
But the problem
If I
is,
get the
it's like
club.
if you're not in the club, then you're paying like $20 for
Right.
one little Bloody Mary.
Right.
And then you have a delay that's 5 hours.
Right?
Like, this is crazy.
right.
Right.
So, needless to say, if I didn't have that, I would be maybe a little bit more on the bitter side.
So I don't fly often, so when I do, it's a treat. So I'm gonna pay the $20.
You're gonna pay
I'll be that girl paying the overpriced for beer.
because you
or-
know you're going out for fun.
for fun, yeah, usually,
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't. Yeah, I
I'm
fly
not going
maybe
out.
once or twice a year, if that. I mean,
Yeah,
everything
true.
for me,
Sure.
family wise, is drivable.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
usually a treat.
And we're not flying for business.
Right.
So
It's like, okay, what are we
I'm
doing?
going.
Doing
I'm
something
going to
fun.
go out and have fun. So
Yeah.
better make that travel a little bit more on the fun side.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Are you a love or hate airport
I
kind
don't
of?
like it because every time I feel like something. I hate waiting. I just want to
waiting.
go,
Yeah.
get in, let's go. I hate waiting.
You're hurrying up
Yeah.
to wait.
And I
Yeah.
feel like where I've grown up most of my life, I always have to do a connecting flight somewhere.
Oh,
connecting.
sure.
So if my first
Yeah,
one is
not a fan of the
messed
connection.
up, then my next one, then I'm just like, oh.
I've had to do that fast haul across
Yes.
terminals because the one is delayed
Yeah.
and then it just trickles on. Oh man,
Oh.
that stinks. I look at these people, right, and I'm like, mark one guy, the guy with the hat looking at his phone. I'm like, he hasn't
hasn't budged.
moved. He
hasn't
hasn't
budged.
moved.
No.
We've had this shot up for a couple minutes now. It has not
And then the
moved.
guy in the back with the beard, he's growing impatient, thinking, "Is this line
He's
ever
growing-
going to move?"
with a Hawaiian shirt too. He's like, I'm ready to go on
Yeah.
vacation.
Oh, see, we've got kisses going
Oh,
on. Someone's
Okay,
having
someone's
fun.
having fun.
They're going on their honeymoon.
Oh, all right.
Now we're making some progress.
Wait.
The guy with the beard grew a little bit more on his beard.
If you're flying, God bless you.
You know, seriously, I'm flying next weekend, people.
Okay.
Please,
Please.
America,
Make way for Jane.
get it together because you don't want me at the club for too long.
Or maybe we do. Can you have friends at the club with you?
I think we can bring.
Friends and family.
Yeah.
Invite us on.
We can bring. Come on board.
on.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. That was good times. All right. Thanks, Majestic. You know, this is what spring does.
Yeah, we're excited.
It makes us.
It's Friday.
It makes
it's
us giddy.
spring,
It's Friday.
It's March Madness.
It's March Madness.
There's a lot of things
We're
happening.
bringing on the madness so early. So there you have it. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
All right, let's regroup here. The donut's already kicking in.
Yep.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 9:21, you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Want to let you know that Grammy Award winner Alessia Cara is going to join us live here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. She has a new album coming out, and it's been a while, so we'll hear from her. I was just actually talking to the producer on site, and we're just lining some elements up. So that is confirmed. It's going to be very exciting. Folks here in the newsroom excited about that. We are also excited about this. Our Nick Carbone talked to the one and only Del Curry, whose jersey was retired yesterday in a ceremony at the Spectrum Center, right, Carlene? And that's why I wanted to give one more shout out to my jersey, because my jersey is not going to be retired.
No, it should be, though.
Not anytime soon.
We could do it here, the Raptors at WCNC Charlotte.
we will start the retirement of jerseys.
Yes.
You have a jersey, you want to put your name on, we'll retire it.
We'll retire it.
In 2026.
Call in. Let us know.
Call in. You got to work for WCNC, though.
Sure.
At least for a little bit.
A little bit.
All right. Anyway, so if you missed that interview, again, our Nick Carbone talking to the Del Curry here, only on WCNC Plus.
Del, for this moment, this night to happen, in the middle of the run this Hornets team is on, I mean, it's reminding a lot of people that when you played, how much of a special extra layer is that to all?
Yeah, the excitement is right back to when, we were out at the Hive on Tybola, no doubt about it. And I say this, timing is everything. In life, basketball, the timing could not be better. This team is playing great basketball right now. The whole league, the nation, everybody's talking about the buzz around the Hornets, and for this to be happening during this time only should help raise that energy to the next level.
You're going to be standing there. They're going to reveal number 30 in the rafters. What do you think you're going to be feeling?
Oh, emotion, little anxiety, nervousness, all that combined. But just grateful. I'm humbled, honored, blessed that Rick and Gabe decided to do this. It's all them. They didn't have to do this, but for them to say we want to share part of the legacy of the Hornets Foundation, you're the guy we want to represent that, it means a lot. But I'm representing myself, but also my teammates, the fans, this community, everybody's a part of this.
Yeah, you got Lakers and Bulls and Celtics, and they have all their retired jerseys. What's unique about being a Charlotte Hornets legend?
Unique about it, I think the fact that other than Bobby Fields, obviously I'm the first one. That's unique. I'm so grateful for that I've been with the organization for this long in so many different capacities as a player, an ambassador, in the front office, and now as a broadcaster for 17 years. To still be a part of this community, a part of this organization, that's what makes it special.
Back in 1988, the expansion draft, what did you know about what might happen and what was going on for you and your young family at that point?
Well, I knew I'd be drafted in the expansion draft. Wayne Emery, who's the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers back then, he called me and said, hey, we're going to leave you unprotected. It was between you and Craig Elo. And he said, we think Craig Elo has a better shot at guarding Michael Jordan. I said, Wayne, I respect that. Good luck with that. And he knew I'd be taken rather quickly in the expansion draft. I was hoping Charlotte. Grew up 4.5 hours from here. So right away, Charlotte felt like home. City wrapped their arms around me, and 24-year-old kid trying to figure out how to make a career in the NBA, and I've been here ever since.
You ever send him that picture of MJ and Elo?
He's probably been reminded that a lot along the way.
Man, you hit some big shots all the way through. And in that 93 series, I think you had 27 in Game 3,
Boston,
big shots again in Game 4. When you think back to those two games in that building, what do you feel? What do you remember hearing and sensing in those moments?
We had a really good team, and the anxiety was at an all-time high from where we started in '88 to getting in that playoff series. I was kind of numb to what was going on around me. I was so focused in on the game, but after the game, it was just a sense of relief, gratitude to the fans who'd stuck by us for a long time of not winning a lot of games, and they were waiting for that opportunity. So to give them that felt wonderful.
What was it like as a Charlotte Hornet in those days? I mean, we know about people now who had starter jacket Hornets jackets in Europe. I mean, it was such a global brand and a global thing. I mean, was there a moment where you kind of realized that for the first time?
Quickly, the purple and teal, it's a great combination, great color. And we see that now with the way the Hornets are playing. That kind of vibe is coming back on the road. We recognized it right away, especially with our uniforms, pinstripe, pleated shorts. Players, we weren't too excited about the pleated shorts, but no, we felt the excitement, not only from just the organization as a new organization, but the colorway was there, and it's coming back. It's alive again.
At your peak, you averaged 5 3 attempts a game. How was that looked at then, and how many would you average now, do you think?
Yeah. There's guys that shoot 5 1/4. Guys on this team that'll do that. I was one guy on a team that was allowed to do that. 5 threes back then was a lot. You had a very few select guys that had the green light to do that. I was proud to be one of those guys, and that didn't come. You just didn't get handed that job. You had to earn it. You had to have respect of the coach, and also respect of the crowd, because the crowd they know who should be shooting those threes and who shouldn't. So for that to be my niche, when I finally felt like, okay, every team needs a three-point shooter. Even back then, even though we didn't take a lot, every team still needed a guy who could put the ball in the hole. I knew that was the way for me to make a career.
What does it mean to you to see Steph wear number 30 and to see Seth do it in a Hornets jersey?
Yeah, Seth was first to say, hey, I'm the last guy to wear that jersey before it goes in the rafters, and I didn't think about that. So proud of that as well. But for them to go to college first and pick up their dad's jersey and want that number, I was very proud of that. I think it says, hey, we want to be like my pops. We watched him as an NBA player. We liked what he did, so let's try to do that as well. And those two guys have made the number 30 even more popular around the league and in all sports, I think. So I'm very proud that they wanted to stick by Pops and kind of keep his legacy alive with that number, and it's worked for them both.
Everybody wants to put Steph in that jersey. Could it come down if he wants it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Steph Curry comes here, he wants the jersey. Just like when Seth got here, they didn't ask him what number he wants. They won't ask Steph either.
All right, Dell, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Just after 9:30 on a Friday morning, you're watching Live Impact News on WCNC+. So the president is again asserting the war in Iran will be over soon. Alice Barr with NBC News covering the latest now from Washington.
This morning, an oil refinery in Kuwait joining the growing list of energy sites targeted across the Middle East as Iran looks to ramp up the pain for the global economy. While Israel hammered a major Iranian gas field and President Trump threatened worse if Iran keeps attacking Gulf allies like Qatar, all with gas prices already up around 90 cents a gallon since the war began.
I thought that it would go up more than it did, but we're doing this excursion, and when it's completed, we're going to have a much safer world.
With questions mounting about how much longer the war will last, NBC News has learned the U.S. military is accelerating the deployment of thousands more Marines and sailors to the Middle East, according to two people familiar with the decision, who say at least 2,200 Marines are expected to deploy from San Diego in the coming days. President Trump again pressed on plans for boots on the ground.
I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops.
His administration is asking Congress for another $200 billion in wartime funding. House Speaker Mike Johnson backing the president's approach.
I think the mission is all but complete.
Asked why then the military needs billions more.
It's a dangerous time in the world, and we have to adequately fund defense.
Democratic leadership pointing to rising prices, not just gas, but jet fuel and mortgage rates.
Let's focus on bringing down housing costs, bringing down health care costs.
Promising another effort to rein in the president's war powers, a move Republicans have called dangerous and so far blocked. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And Prime Minister of Israel Benjamin Netanyahu also spoke yesterday, providing an update from his perspective. Let's start to play this for you now on Live Impact News.
Welcome to the Foreign Press. First of all, I just want to say I'm alive, and you're all witnesses. And now that I dispatched this piece of fake news, I want to give you an update on Operation Roaring Lion. Under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together in Iran with great determination and unprecedented strength. Operation Rising Lion is designed to remove the existential threats posed by the Ayatollah regime, the regime that has waged war against America and Israel and the people of Iran for 47 years. It chants death to America, death to Israel, and it delivers death to its own people. Our goals are three. One, removing the nuclear threat. Second, removing the ballistic missile threat, and removing both of these threats before they're buried deep underground and become immune from aerial attack. And third, this means creating the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom to control their destiny. Today, the Ayatollah regime is not only attacking America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people, it is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus and Europe. We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack these targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do.
We'll get back to the comments and presser from Benjamin Netanyahu, previously recorded, of course, here on WCNC Plus. We need to take a break on Live Impact News. We'll see you in 2 minutes. At 9:38, a special guest for you right now because Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter Alessia Cara has spent a decade building her career and making herself one of pop music's most genuine billion streaming careers, starting with the breakout anthem, of course, Here, which I've been singing all morning. She's laughing. She's like, oh, it's not quite it, Jane. Today, she's celebrating 10 years of music with something truly remarkable. Love or Lack Thereof is a brand new 12-track album out right now. We're thinking jazz, we're thinking soul, we're thinking all of your blues hits, Alessia. Reimagine, right? Happy release day to you.
Thank you. I love that little rendition of Here for a second. That was lovely.
That's all you're going to get from from here.
No, we need more. I love it. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So what made this the right moment to look back at your career and bring out this album?
You know, I had come off of a whole year of touring, and so I was really in the mode of performing live, and I loved how that felt. I felt like I was really in a good space with performing, and so when I got off the road, I was like, I'm still in this like live mode. I want to do something live, and we were also coming off of the 10-year anniversary of my first album, and I wanted to commemorate that, and so I was like, how do I like put all these things together? And we thought of doing this totally live album. Of, you know, a bunch of my love songs and heartbreak songs over the course of 10 years. And selfishly, I just love jazz music. I love soul music, and I've always wanted to make a project in that genre. So we put all those things together, Frankensteined all those thoughts, and we came up with this album, and we recorded it in 3 days.
You came out with The Bride. What's the energy like doing it live compared to your studio sessions then?
I think there's like something really fun about the pressure of doing things live, especially the way we did it, because we recorded everything to tape. And so for those of you who know how tape works, it's very limited. You don't have a lot of takes. It's not like modern day music where you can just record a million takes and splice things together. When you're doing it live to tape, you're kind of doing a full performance, and it is what it is. And so there's something really fun about that adrenaline of like, you know, we're all in this together, and if one of us messes up, we all have to start over. So you're kind of in it. You have to be super focused. But I like that. I feel like I work well sometimes under pressure in cases like that. So I was like, this feels good.
So cool. How did you decide which babies to pick then? Which ones made it to the cut? And really, were there any songs that surprised you that you envisioned that were going to play out, and once you heard it, or in editing or post, whatever you do, that didn't translate quite the way you wanted?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess there was one song called I'm Yours, which is from my first album, that we recorded a bunch of times, and we had originally a completely different arrangement for it, and it just wasn't feeling right, I think, for any of us. Like, my voice was kind of not sitting right, and we all just felt like it didn't feel right, and we didn't really know why. It was just like the energy of the arrangement, and so we changed up the key a little bit, and then it ended up working out, you know. And sometimes there's no particular reason, it's just a feeling. Like, sometimes things feel great, sometimes they don't, but the beauty of working with such great musicians is that we can just adjust on the fly and try new things, and you have way more freedom, you know, when you have that synergy with great musicians. So we ended up working it out, and it sounds great now, so I'm super happy with it.
So cool. Speaking of great musicians, Nelly Furtado, Norah Jones. Of course, when I first heard your voice, definitely a throwback. I thought of Norah Jones immediately, and so obviously one of your influences. How did those dream collabs happen?
Well, in terms of Nelly Furtado, we have the same team, lucky for me. So I've known her for a little bit now. We've communicated, and she's always been so sweet to me. And so when we were thinking of the arrangement of my song Shapeshifter, I thought she would be so good on it. And so I just asked her, honestly. I just shot my shot, asked her, hoped for the best, and she was the kindest. She came in studio, and she just dropped this beautiful rendition of the verse and left. It was amazing. I'm like, how do you do that so quick? She's just such a pro. And then Norah Jones, I joined her podcast for an episode, and we sang together on the podcast. And so it planted that seed, because I was like, our voices sound really good together. And again, I just shot my shot and asked and hoped for the best, and I got 2 for 2. They were both so wonderful and generous with their time and with their voices, so I feel very honored.
And I saw that podcast with Norah. That was a very cool duet. Man, you sound really amazing. Fans have been asking for stripped down versions of your songs for a while, though, right? Why did it take this long?
I guess, partly because I was touring so much, and I was like, you know, I'm always kind of writing, I'm always doing something, and so it didn't feel like I had a lot of time really to sit with all these songs, and I wanted to do it in the right way as well. You know, you have to do it with the right people, you have to find the right time, you have to be in the right headspace. All things sort of have to align, so it just worked out that way, honestly. Everything sort of aligned the way it was supposed to.
All right, first day of spring, you got a new season, you have a new album. What is next for Alessia Cara?
What is next? Summer is approaching, and it's festival season, so I would love to do hopefully some shows and perform these songs in this genre. That would be really, really cool, to do like a jazz and soul set. I've never done that before, so that would be really cool. And I don't know, hopefully writing more and experiencing a little bit of life in between, so that I can have experiences to write about. That would be great too. So we'll see. I'm always kind of thinking. The wheels are always turning, so who knows?
All right, sounds great. We've got people lining up to get the new album that drops today again, and love the title. Where did that come from?
Well, it came from the idea that, you know, I was thinking of like, okay, how can we package all these songs together? What is the theme here? And I realized I do have a lot of heartbreak songs, and I do have a lot of love songs. And it was around Valentine's Day, and I was like, you know what, this would be a great little Valentine's release, and you know, kind of commemorating like all the heartbreak songs I have and all the love songs I have. And the title just sort of came to me. I was like, love or lack thereof. It's great. It rhymes. It encapsulates the theme of this project, and so it just kind of worked.
All right, it works for us as well. Alessia Cara, we congratulate you on 10 years, a brand new 12-track Love or Lack Thereof, right now on Def Jam Recordings. Thanks, fun talking to you this morning.
Thank you so much, likewise.
Alessia Cara, look at that. That's only here on Live Impact News, live at 9:45. We'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC+. At 9:48 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, skin cancer affects millions of Americans every year, but one of the most serious forms, metastatic melanoma, has been difficult to treat. But there's a new approach. It's a personalized approach called cell therapy, and it's giving some patients new hope. So this morning, joining us right now are Dr. Brian Gastman, Executive VP of Translational Medicine and Research at Iovance, and Chris White, a cancer survivor as well as advocate living with metastatic melanoma. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
For viewers who may not be familiar, let's start with what exactly is metastatic melanoma, doctor?
Sure. Great question. First of all, melanoma is a skin cancer, but for the most part, it is caught early and very treatable. Unfortunately, for some patients, it spreads throughout the body, meaning the body can't control it. That's when it is metastatic. That's when it's the most difficult to treat. And that's really what we're here to talk about, because there have been major medical breakthroughs that have allowed patients like Chris to experience incredibly long benefits.
Yeah, but before we talk about the breakthroughs, and that's very exciting, Chris, tell us about your story here, your journey. How did you first notice something was wrong?
Absolutely. In the beginning of 2018, I noticed a lump in a place where it shouldn't have been, and I did nothing about it. And then a few months later, I discovered another lump in a place where it shouldn't be, and it was concerning. So that led me to go see my doctor, which eventually led me to a surgeon. And I had a surgery, and that pathology came back as metastatic malignant melanoma. It was a rare subtype with a very poor prognosis, very aggressive type of cancer. After I ran out of all my options, I was then introduced to cell therapy and clinical trials. I did that treatment in January of 2020. It's now been 6 years.
Wow, that's amazing. And doctor, how does cell therapy work then?
Sure. So immune-based therapies, which is what we're talking about here, reinvigorates the body's own system that is supposed to fight the cancer, but for whatever reason is inadequate. There are therapies that come off the shelf to do that, but what cell therapy does is takes those exact immune cells out of the body, which there's just not enough of, reinvigorates them, expands them to numbers the body could never make, and then gives it back to the patient. It then becomes a living therapy within those patients, and for some patients, it's given them many years, even immeasurable benefits and results.
And so for Chris, since you are now 6 years since you started that, what is life like, and how do you maintain?
You know, life has been incredible in the past 6 years. I do a lot of exercise, just try to live and eat healthy as possible. But, you know, I advocated and spoke up for myself. I knew nothing about cell therapies when I initially started on this journey. And so I try to tell everybody, you know, to ask the questions, work with your multidisciplinary care team, see what's out there, ask about clinical trials. And nobody's sense of urgency is ever going to be bigger than your own. So again, you know, ask about what type of cell therapies are there in clinical trials. Again, this past 6 years has been amazing.
That is incredible, and congratulations to you. Doctor, who's the right candidate for this?
Well, the typical patient right now are patients that have had a first exposure, usually to an immune-based therapy, but then failed that. These patients, if they're caught early enough, are really prime candidates for cell therapy. And generally, we're talking about here metastatic melanoma patients. Again, patients where the disease is spread throughout the body.
Is immune-based therapy just working for metastatic melanoma, this type of cancer? Or are there other cancers that scientists are working on trying to use this type of therapy?
There's a lot of effort in other cancer types. Some of the more advanced clinical trials include in lung cancer, for example. There's others such as sarcoma that are being explored, and many, many others beyond melanoma. We're very excited that we should be able to bring this to other indications to help patients much broader than the melanoma community, but we're still trying to get it to the patients and trying to get more knowledge out there through websites like curemelanoma.org so that people even know this therapy exists.
All right. Anything else that we should know and take away from our conversation today?
Well, I think Chris said this was a journey, but again, it's a one-time therapy. So Chris, I don't want to speak for him, but got this one-time therapy 6 years ago. And when it works like that. You're not getting more therapies afterwards. It's a living therapy. And what we've seen is patients get benefit, and that benefit get even stronger even years later. So it appears to be protecting these patients as well. Ultimately, the biggest issue, as I said before, is just that lack of knowledge that exists so that we can get to patients the therapy as early as we can. And websites, again, like curemelanoma.org is a good layperson's way of understanding that, not just for the patient, but for their doctor and also for the patient and the doctor to really communicate with each other to help them make the right choice for them, because it is an individualized therapy.
That's fantastic. Really great to hear and so encouraging for a lot of people out there. All right, Dr. Brian Gassman, Chris White, thank you for your time this morning. Appreciate the conversation.
Really, we appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. At 9:57 here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Airports are busy. A live picture right now at Houston. Give yourself plenty of time. This is Atlanta with folks standing at the TSA line and looking like this all morning as far as we can see. So still waiting for TSA agents to get back on the job. We are hearing that there's about a 10% call out every day since the partial government shutdown. So as we wait for that, also on the aviation frequency, as we continue to talk about that, PSA Airline coming to Charlotte. They're here. They had their grand opening yesterday. Governor Josh Stein, as well as Mark Jarrell, Mecklenburg County Commissioners, spoke at their special presentation. We'll play this for you now here as part of it on Live Impact News.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Chris, how was your experience at the DMV getting that new driver's license?
We should talk about that.
We will talk about it, and we will keep improving our DMV. What a treat it is to be with so many distinguished guests, Commissioner Chair, Mayor Pro Tem, legislators. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being such effective advocates and representatives of the people of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. We're here to celebrate some exciting news, the grand opening of PSA Airlines' new headquarters right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This milestone proves what we have long known, that North Carolina is not only first in flight, we are the future of flight. North Carolina has become synonymous with aviation and aerospace innovation. We're home to more than 400 aerospace companies that contribute more than $88 billion to our economy on an annual basis. We are still gaining speed and altitude. PSA Airlines' decision further solidifies North Carolina's place in America's aerospace leadership. We've been putting in the work to make sure that we're ready for the jobs of today and tomorrow.
We're going to put a pin in that recorded presser from Governor Josh Stein on the opening of PSA Airlines here in Charlotte as their new headquarters. Because right now, soccer fever is at a high pitch coming up on 10 o'clock on Live Impact News. And it is coming to Charlotte. The U.S. men's national team will play at Bank of America Stadium at the end of May 31st against Senegal. That's just days before the 2026 World Cup kicks off on home soil. How exciting is that? U.S. Soccer Federation CEO JT Batson joining us right now here on Live Impact News. JT, a pleasure to have you this morning.
Great to be with you.
So Charlotte chosen to host the men's national team. That's so exciting ahead of the World Cup. What does that say about this city as a soccer market?
Well, we know the incredible passion that Charlotte fans bring to Charlotte FC. Pack Bank of America Stadium for games regularly. The energy and the enthusiasm is something we're excited about bringing to our U.S. men's national team as we hope the fans there help inspire them to victory this summer.
And we're talking about the match against Senegal just coming days after the World Cup roster is announced. How much pressure? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure, but how much pressure can you say the players will be feeling, and what should fans expect on the field?
So the game is May 31st, just days before the World Cup kicks off against Senegal, who's the best team in Africa. So will be a great competition. And this will be an opportunity for players who are looking to earn a spot in the starting lineup. And, you know, what an incredible opportunity to play in a World Cup on your home soil. And so, you know, our players will be, you know, looking to, you know, earn their right to be in that roster in the first game of the World Cup, which will be a ton of fun.
For sure. 2026 World Cup, first time here on U.S. soil in, 32 years? How different does this feel?
Recording in progress.
How crazy does this feel compared to past tournaments from an organization and that standpoint?
Well, the World Cup this summer will be the first World Cup with 48 teams, so you'll have more teams from all around the country. And what a lot of people don't realize is the 1994 World Cup in the United States is still the most successful World Cup in history in terms of tickets sold, and that was with only 24 teams. So this is double the teams. It'll be more than double the fun this summer. It'll be an incredible amount of energy. You know, we've seen it. We just launched our jerseys for our men's national team earlier this week. The jersey sales are setting records. Fans are excited. Our 2 games in March coming up in Atlanta are sold out. People are pumped, and so we're really, really excited about this summer.
Yeah, the popularity really has exploded in this country in recent years. What do you credit the growth to?
Well, soccer's the world's game. Soccer is for everyone. People love it. It's a game that anyone can play. It's a game that anyone can follow, and the growth of this sport has been quite incredible. There's a recent survey that came out that said that 70% of Americans are soccer fans, and so just the growth of the game has been awesome, and we know that everyone's going to rally around the team this summer.
That's so amazing. For folks who are headed to Bank of America the first time to see what experience would feel like with a soccer match, what do you tell them?
Well, there's great culture of soccer fans in Charlotte, so you're going to have lots of people in the stands with you who know the drill. But the opportunity to support your country is something that's pretty unique. And this is a group of players who's proud to represent the U.S., who knows the responsibility of what that entails, and this is an opportunity for you to be there to show your support, to be part of that, get there early, and have a lot of fun.
So you said it yourself, number one team in Africa, Senegal. What can we expect to see from the Americans?
Well, we've got a young, dynamic team. We have players who are playing all over the world for some of the best teams in the world. We've got a team that is very passionate and believes in the opportunity they have this summer to go do something that's never been done before and really make the American fans proud. And so, this is a great opportunity for players to earn their right in the starting lineup and to get ready for what's going to be an awesome run in the World Cup this summer.
Tickets are on sale now. What do you tell Charlotte area fans who might be on the fence about coming out?
Well, it's going to be a ton of fun. As someone who remembers my first time seeing the U.S. national team and seeing the folks in the red, white, and blue out there, you feel so passionate, you feel so connected. It's such a cool opportunity for young kids and for fans of all ages. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster or on ussoccer.com. We know that Charlotte is a great sports town. We know it's a great soccer town, and I know our team is really excited about playing there.
Oh, yeah, we're super excited here, definitely, here in the Queen City. JT Batson, we appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to May 31st there at the bank against Senegal. Appreciate you.
Us too. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, back here at 10:07 on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Moments ago, we started to play yesterday's response from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's go ahead and pick that back up. If you missed it, this is his update on the Iran war in the Middle East, now on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people, it is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and Americans and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus and Europe. We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack these targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather. But I want to ask you to imagine how the Ayatollah regime would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles, international range ballistic missiles, and nuclear-tipped warheads. Just imagine what a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed. Hundreds of their launchers have been destroyed, their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard, and so are the industries that produce them. That's important. In Rising Line, we destroyed missiles and we destroyed a lot of the nuclear infrastructure. But what we're destroying now are the factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their industrial base in a way that we didn't do before. Iran's air defenses have been rendered useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea. Today we hit the other part of their navy in the Caspian Sea. Their air force is nearly destroyed. Iran's command and control structure is in utter chaos. And I can tell you that there's still more work to do, and we're going to do it. And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear, and so is the clarity of our achievements. Together in close coordination with President Trump, the close coordination between America and Israel, our militaries, our intelligence services, we're achieving goals in lightning speed. But I want to say another word. It's been said that for 40 years, I've been saying that Iran is a danger to Israel and a danger to the world. That is true. You know who else said that? President Trump. 47 years ago, when the Iranian thugs took over the American embassy, he said how dangerous this regime is. In his first term in office, he didn't need any convincing. He said the Iranian nuclear deal was the worst deal that he'd ever seen, and he walked out of it. Right before his second term, before he was reelected, I went to see him in Mar-a-Lago. The first thing he said to me was, "Baby, we've got to make sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons." He said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He didn't need any convincing there either. Now, why did he say that? Because for more than 4 decades, this regime, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, is chanting death to Israel, death to America. But they say Israel is only the small Satan standing in their way. The great Satan is the United States of America. And these ideological fanatics, these lunatics, define their raison d'etre, their reason for being, as wiping out Western civilization and America that leads it. They have claimed the lives, they've maimed and wounded thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan. They killed the American Marines in Beirut. They bombed your embassies. They tried to assassinate the American president, Donald Trump, not once, but twice. Now they blackmail for oil. Just imagine what they would do, what they're capable of doing, if these lunatics had nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city and every European city and everywhere around the globe. This is a danger for the entire world. It's certainly a danger for Israel. It's certainly a danger for America. We see eye to eye on that. President Trump and I, Israel and America. But I think if people are honest, if leaders are honest, they would understand that we're not only fighting our fight, we're fighting their fight. I speak to dozens of world leaders. Dozens. They all know that. And privately, they all say that. They say that privately, but I say it publicly. The world owes a debt of deep indebtedness to President Trump for leading this effort to safeguard our future.
Thank
Questions?
you. We'll now take a few questions. The first question is from Zach Anders from Newsmax.
Mr. Prime Minister, Zach Anders, Newsmax.
Moment. We can create the conditions, but they have to, they have to exploit those conditions at a certain point. It is often said that you can't do revolutions from the air. That is true. You can't do it only from the air. You can do a lot of things from the air, and we're doing, but there has to be a ground component as well. There are many possibilities for this ground component, and I take the liberty of not sharing with you all those possibilities.
Would you recognize Pahlavi if the people keep chanting for him in the streets?
Well, I'm not going to say who specifically is going to be there, but I think he's been a force for good. He's been trying to get the people to unite for a transitional government, a democratic transitional government, or a moderate transitional government. I hope that it comes to being. I think it's too early to say.
Next question from Richard Engel from NBC News.
Good to see you again, Mr.
But I will say this canard that we dragged the United States into it is not just a canard, it's ridiculous. I mean, I think President Trump said it best, and I said it as well many times. There's always a danger in acting. But in conditions of existential threats, there's a much greater danger in not acting. What do you think would have happened if America did not act now? Just imagine what would have happened. In a few months' time, no more than a year, Khamenei, still alive, would have ordered the beginnings of the new nuclear program and the reconstructed ballistic missile program to move underground. Now, it'll take them a little time. maybe a few years. But you can't reach those programs. And they develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay? That means missiles that can hit Chicago and New York and Florida and Texas and California. Oh, but they don't have it yet. That's what people said. Right, let's wait. Well, just let them do it, just wait and let them do it. You won't be able to do it. It's the last moment. No, it takes a little time. I mean, you had a few months to prevent them from doing it and to just decimate these industries and perhaps achieve this transitional government in Iran. So you'd sit back and you say, well, it's not going to happen in the next Thursday, so let's not act. I tell you that there's enormous risk in not acting, much greater risk than acting. And if you think that the oil markets are in trouble today, think of Iran with nuclear weapons and the means to deliver them, and then think of the blackmail that you would endure.
I didn't exactly ask, however.
Okay, we're going to go to the next question.
No, I think it's only fair. This is a serious subject.
What is the question?
There's one question for
Go ahead.
We don't have a lot of time. This is important.
Go ahead, ask.
Of course, but you have questions. There are oil fields around the world that are burning. Gas prices are going up. The war is popular here in Israel. Is not popular with many Americans. My question was, how do you see this ending? Not why, not even when. What do you imagine the day after?
Well, we have achievable goals, and I'm not going to speak about the full battle plans that we have with the United States. We're well coordinated with them. I will say this, that once we achieve our goals, then I have argued, I think, and Americans understand this very well because we're real partners. I think that what has to be done is to have alternative routes instead of going through the choke points of the Hormuz Straits and the Bab el-Mandeb Straits in order to have the flow of oil. Just have oil pipelines, gas pipelines going west through the Arabian Peninsula, right up to Israel, right up to our Mediterranean ports, and you've just done away with the choke points for forever. That is definitely possible. So I see that as a real change that will follow this war. But I also see this war ending a lot faster than people think. I think you have to, in war, you have to grit your teeth. Churchill said that democracies suffer from the slumber of democracies, as he called it. And they only wake up, he said, they may wake up only when they hear the gong, the jarring gong of danger, is the way he put it. Well, you're hearing the jarring gong of danger. The jarring gong of danger is Iran gets nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. That's not a jarring gong. That is an apocalypse. Don't let it happen. And the function of leaders is to stand and tell people the truth, even when things are uncomfortable. That's what you have to do. And you don't always see the danger in time. But leaders are tasked with the task of seeing danger in time and acting on it. And I hope that in time, people will see the wisdom and the courage of President Trump's decision and his leadership, and the fact that we're working together. America is not fighting for Israel. America is fighting with Israel for a common goal, to protect our future, to protect civilization against these barbarians.
Next question, one question, Guy Azriel from I-24 News.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Guy Azriel, I-24 News. President Trump said today he did not like the Israeli strike on the Iranian gas fields. My question to you, was the President aware of Israel striking that gas field? Did you approve it? And please, if you may, do you see any signs that the Iranian regime is collapsing? And what assurances do you give the Israeli public that if it does stand on its feet, we will not see another wave of a war with Iran in maybe 5 or 10 years?
Well, I'll say two things. Fact number one, Israel acted alone against the Slawiya gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. What do we see? What happens if the are there any signs that the Iranian regime is cracking? A lot of signs. A lot of signs. I wish I could divulge all of them, but I see that. But will I tell you, will I commit right now that it's going to collapse? I could tell you that we're working to create the conditions for it to collapse, but it may survive, it may not. If it survives, it'll be a lot weaker. There's no comparison. It'll be at its weakest point, shorn of industries that it built over decades, death industries, shorn of many other capabilities that they have, and equipped with the experience, with the knowledge that if they try it again, they'll be hit again even harder. I cannot tell you of the technological developments that we are engaged in to anticipate this and other possibilities, but Israel has shown that it can do wondrous things, and in partnership with our American allies, we can do amazing things, amazing things. As Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said, these are the two most amazing air forces in the world. It's the two most amazing intelligence services in the world. It has the capabilities to confront these barbarians and to outstrip them, both in innovation and, when necessary, in lethality. It's directed, it's targeted lethality. It's going against the killers, and as much as possible
Bringing
to avoid
some breaking news right now. We are learning that Chuck Norris, action hero and star of Walker, Texas Ranger, has died. He was 86 years old. NBC News reporting that the family posted that Norris did die, a sudden passing of Norris yesterday morning. They posted that in a post on Instagram, requesting that they keep the circumstances private, but just know that Norris was surrounded by family and was at peace. But Chuck Norris, action hero legend, died at 86 years old. We'll be right back on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Time right now is 10:26. Looking at a live picture of the runway at Charlotte Douglas Airport. Today, the inaugural flight from Etihad Airways about to land at CLT in less than 45 minutes. Today is the inaugural flight again with its 371 seat Airbus 350, and it will return to Abu Dhabi later this afternoon. They are flying to and from Abu Dhabi. There were some discussions, some talks, with the Iran war and what's happening and how that might interfere, or some concerns from passengers to and around the Middle East. But it seems that Etihad was able to take off from Abu Dhabi last night and fly about 15 plus hours into Charlotte Douglas airspace. So it looks like, according to FlightAware, it is going to land here in 41 minutes. Very exciting times there for the Airbus, the fourth international airline for Charlotte Douglas, I believe. Is that right? Let me see. Fourth international carrier. Yes. I've flown Etihad before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Where'd you fly to?
Flew from JFK to Abu Dhabi. That is the hub or connection.
How was it?
And it was great. It really is really great.
It's really nice.
It is really nice and big and roomy and comfortable, and the service. Luxurious. And I didn't even have a premium or business class seat.
That's
so
nice.
Very nice. Yeah. And then from there, you're able to connect to, Eastern Asia or Asia. That I went to Thailand. To Bangkok. So that is a popular route, is to
you're there to there to there.
Boom.
Right.
One 14-hour thing, and then another 10-hour flight.
Exciting for people,
who want to, fly
there.
internationally. So, all right, we will make sure to follow the departure back across to Abu Dhabi later this afternoon with their inaugural departure flight from Charlotte Douglas. All right, let's take you back out to the previously recorded press conference from Israeli Prime Minister and Benjamin Netanyahu from yesterday on the Middle East operations.
Billion casualties. We have those capacities. We're building them for the future. That is what safeguards the future. If people want to be naive, then they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be right. One of the greatest writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash our gates and destroy our societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th. Our people, our soldiers rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, we're also protecting the entire world.
Thank you. Next question, Tom Burridge from ABC News.
Sure. Hi, Tom Sufi Burridge, ABC News. Prime Minister, given the escalation of attacks on U.S. allies across the Gulf, given the spiraling energy costs, the high costs in general, the U.S. service personnel killed in this war, many Americans are asking that question, whether you misled their government into starting this war, and for how long should Americans keep paying the price?
Well, I misled no one, and I didn't have to convince President Trump about the need to prevent Iran Iran from developing its nuclear program, putting it underground, and being able to launch nuclear-tipped missiles at the United States. He understood that. He explained it to me. I didn't explain it to him. And I think that our partnership is the only way to avoid this catastrophic development. The loss of servicemen is painful. Early on in my military service, a fellow soldier died in my arms. I lost a brother who fought terrorists, led the historic Entebbe rescue. The cost to bereaved families is enormous, and I sympathize and send the condolences of the people of Israel to these families and to the American people. Freedom is precious. It has its costs. But if you're not prepared to defend it, if you're not prepared to resist the tyrannies that are trying to arm themselves with the weapons of mass death, you will have no future. And therefore, we're doing what we can. As far as oil prices rising, spikes, you know what a spike is? You know what a spike is? It goes up and goes down. The Americans are working very hard, and we're trying to help them in every way that we can, to open the straits of Hormuz. And if they succeed, which I think they will, then oil prices will come down. But if you say, all right, I'm suffering right now, and people are, then I shouldn't do anything. I should just succumb to the blackmail, let Iran get on with it, let them develop nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles to deliver them to New York and Los Angeles. You're going to be blackmailed in ways that you can't even imagine. I think what this war has done is unmask what Iran is. You know, we've said for years, look at these people. They're doing things that normal regimes do not do. I don't hear even adversaries of the United States chanting death to America, death to the great Satan, massacring tens of thousands of their own people at will like that in 2 days. You have that sometimes. But the combination of fanaticism, deep ideological lunacy, there's no other way to call it, the total and utter ruthlessness of this regime makes it uniquely dangerous. Uniquely dangerous not only to Israel and to the United States, but to everything in between and far beyond. And the fact that this is not recognized, you ask me, okay, what do people think? What did they think in the 30s? What did they think in the 30s when you had a terrible, ruthless, killer regime led by a lunatic that took one country after the other, did it very sequentially? What did they say? They said what? They said, let's stay out of this. It's not our war. It's not our problem. Maybe it's only the Jews. Have we learned nothing, absolutely nothing in these 80 years? We cannot see the danger that lurks. It doesn't lurk. It's risen from the mud. It's right in our face. It's splattering blood right at us. I can't believe that we're clueless. We're not clueless. I talk to many American friends. They're not clueless. They understand this. Some don't. Some are adamantly opposed, but many are adopting a wait-and-see attitude. But I can tell you that I've spoken, as I said a minute ago, I've spoken to many, many leaders. We're talking about dozens and dozens of leaders. And they all say the same thing. I understand it. Some of them come out and say it. They're bold. And some of them say, I don't know, I wish, I understand it, but some of my people don't, or my news media are against me and so on. I was glad to see in the United States that an enormous enormous percentage of President Trump's supporters, traditional supporters, understand it. And I hope that my friends and colleagues of many years on the other side of the aisle, those who understand and agree with what I just said, and there are quite a few of them, have the courage to come out and say it. Because at the end, what is the task of leaders if you're a leader? The most important thing is to assure the security of your people. And that means identifying danger in time and acting against it. That is a prerequisite for the survival of any biological organism. You have to identify danger in time and act in time against it. You either fight or flight. These are the two options you have. Where can you flee? Nowhere, because Iran can reach any part of the world. So you have to, at a certain point, fight. And this is the juncture where we've reached in time. Not too late, but in time. I just will encourage all those who agree with what President Trump is saying, with what I'm saying, to act. I didn't have to convince President Trump of anything. He didn't need any convincing. He acted as a great leader does to protect his country and to protect the future.
Thank you. Next question, Alex Trayman from JNS. JNS, right behind you, yes.
Mr. Prime Minister, Hezbollah has opened up another front against Israel, launching rockets against Israeli civilians. Now ground troops are inside Lebanon. Is there any hesitancy toward launching a full ground operation to eradicate Hezbollah? And what would eradicating Hezbollah do to transform Israel-Lebanon relations and the greater Middle East?
Look, Alex, I can't divulge our battle plans. Obviously, Hezbollah is not what Hezbollah had been. I said in my opening remarks in Hebrew that they were talking about 150,000 rockets and missiles that they had, ballistic missiles. They had thousands of Ridwan terrorists right next to our fence underground, ready to invade. We knocked them back. We destroyed the bulk of their missile capacity in 6 hours. We knocked out Nasrallah. We destroyed all the Hamas, or rather all the Ridwan infrastructure right next to our border. We now have a security corridor, a security zone that is there that prevents this kind of invasion. And we have plans for the future. Obviously, our number one effort is geared towards Iran. If the regime goes, you know that Hezbollah goes. But in any case, we're devising our plans in such a way that we could remove this threat as well.
Thank you. Final question from Jeremy Diamond at CNN.
Mr. Prime Minister, Jeremy Diamond, CNN. Nice to see you. You've assassinated Iran's supreme leader and dozens of other senior Iranian officials. The result of that so far has been the appointment of a new supreme leader considered to be even more hardline than his father. The Iranian regime is not showing any signs of collapse as of now. So I wonder, what do you say to those who say that killing those individuals is in fact empowering the hardliners in Iran? And are you confident that your strategy will still lead to regime change? And then secondly, if I may, you've also indicated today that you made a commitment to President Trump not to strike these oil and gas facilities in the future. Should President Trump come to you one day and say, oil prices are too high, it's time to end this war, will you listen to him? And do you need the United States in order to continue this campaign alone?
Was that a single question? Jeremy really hogged it, but I'll answer your questions. I'm not sure who's running Iran right now. Mujtaba, the replacement Ayatollah, has not shown his face. Have you seen him? We haven't. And we can't vouch exactly what is happening there. There is a cloud here that's not clear. What we see is that there's a lot of tensions inside the people who are edging for the top. It's not a uniform position. You see that sometimes with the contradictory orders that are given. You know, they do one thing and then they withdraw it and so on. I think it's important that they know that if they think they're going to target the world, target the President of the United States and so on, they themselves are being targeted. That creates a lot of uncertainty. We've found that can have an effect. The removal of Nasrallah has never been really been replaced, because some people are not replaceable. I think the authority and the hold that Khamenei has had is not going to be translated to anyone, not to Mujtaba if he's there, and not to anyone else. But I think this is part of the effort to to crack the regime. It's not going to happen in one day. We're 20 days into this war. Yes, we're seeing cracks. We're seeing cracks, and we're trying to propagate them as fast as we can. Not only in the top command, we're seeing cracks in the field. It's sort of like a hollowed out, rotten piece of wood that's holding on the outside, but there's a lot of rot inside. We're seeing some defections. We're seeing fear and trepidation in the IRGC units that are manning the ballistic missiles. You know why? Because they're afraid to die. They're not all suicidal. In fact, most of them are not. So we're seeing cracks, but we're going to hit them again and again. The minimum thing we want to do is, again, erase the industrial capacity that they had to produce these weapons. They'll have to build it from a start, and that's very hard. It's very hard to do underground, too. So they're not going to be able to just take the pieces and move them below the earth. It's going to be a lot harder for them. But ideally, if it cracks enough, and with some other things that I won't get into, yes, the regime could change. Is it guaranteed? No. And is it up to the Iranian people in the final accounting to make use of the conditions that we're doing in weakening this regime? We'll see. I cannot tell you. They're very brave, by the way. I don't come and criticize them in any way. I think they're very brave. I think they've suffered enormously. And the question is, will we have a meeting ground between the weakening of the regime and the rising of the people in many ways that could develop? We'll see. On the oil and gas questions, I can only tell you this. Look, I don't think any two leaders have been as coordinated as President Trump and I. He's the leader. I'm, his ally. America is the leader. Israel is, as the National Security Memorandum described us, I think a month ago, 6 weeks ago, I think, something like that, they called Israel the model ally. That's how they call it, the model ally. It's not a superpower, but America is seeking around the world, and you hear it from the speeches of President Trump and others in the administration. They say, where are you? We've helped you all these years. Where are you when we're doing something that is as important, at least as important for you as it is important for us? And yet one country is there. And against all the vilifications that are leveled at Israel, Israel is sponging off America and all that. No, it's not. It's not. Israel is a brave country, a resolute country with an incredible army, incredible soldiers, incredible courage, and we're fighting alongside the United States when the chips are down. We're fighting with the United States. We're fighting for a common goal. So I can tell you that that's the most important coordination. But in practice, President Trump and I speak regularly. We discuss things. Our staffs discuss things. Our militaries are in close coordination as never before. But ultimately, President Trump makes his own decisions. And do I respect them? Yes, I do.
The question is,
We'll take a quick 2-minute break here on Live Impact News on WCNC+. At 10:47 now on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, we were starting a press conference. That was the grand opening of PSA Airlines happening starting now in Charlotte, and Governor Josh Stein speaking up at the podium from yesterday on Live Impact News on WCNC.
Good morning, everyone.
Plus.
Good morning. Chris, how was your experience at the DMV getting that new driver's license?
We should talk about that.
We will talk about it, and we will keep improving our DMV. What a treat it is to be with so many distinguished guests, Commissioner Chair, Mayor Pro Tem, legislators. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being such effective advocates and representatives of the people of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. We're here to celebrate some exciting news, the grand opening of PSA Airlines' new headquarters right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This milestone proves what we have long known, that North Carolina is not only first in flight, we are the future of flight. North Carolina has become synonymous with aviation and aerospace innovation. We're home to more than 400 aerospace companies that contribute more than $88 billion to our economy on an annual basis. We are still gaining speed and altitude. PSA Airlines' decision further solidifies North Carolina's place in America's aerospace leadership. We've been putting in the work to make sure that we're ready for the jobs of today and tomorrow. We're home to a world-class workforce and a robust community college system that is producing students of need in high-demand industries. It includes multiple community college locations offering curricula in aerospace manufacturing and aviation systems technology. In addition to our people, our quality of life, location, and business environment are second to none. North Carolina last year has been ranked the #1 state for business, the #1 state for workforce development, the #1 state for economic development. We're the #1 state for job creation in this country in the fourth quarter, the #1 state where people from other states are moving to, even from Nevada. So PSA Airlines, we are pleased to welcome you to our success story. The move to Charlotte means that more than 400 good-paying jobs will be based right here in North Carolina. The investment is expected to support nearly $250 million in economic output across the state every year, while generating roughly $10 million in annual state and local taxes. And the headquarters will also support hundreds more positions across the state through the supply chain and in community businesses. PSA, we know that you had many choices about where to relocate, and we are so happy that you chose Charlotte, North Carolina. Economic development is a team sport, and Team North Carolina is the best in the business. An announcement of this magnitude doesn't just happen. It's the product of a strong collaboration by many actors, company executives, state and local elected officials of both parties, economic development professionals. And I want to acknowledge our educational partners that were critical to making this happen. UNC Charlotte, Central Piedmont Community College, Johnson C. Smith University, and the Aviation Institute of Maintenance, as well as the ATP Flight School, all here in Charlotte, North Carolina. These institutions are helping to build the skilled workforce that makes this an attractive place for companies to locate. For the first time in decades, North Carolina has a passenger airline headquartered in our state. Woo! That is certainly something worth celebrating. It reflects the strength of our aviation industry, the quality of our workforce, and the collaborative partnership that makes projects like this possible. We look forward to watching PSA Airlines soar to even new heights from their new home here in Charlotte. And I look forward to partnering with all of you to keep building a safer, stronger, and more prosperous North Carolina with real opportunity for every person. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Governor Stein. Please join us now.
All right, you are watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, and it appears that the Commander-in-Chief's trophy is being presented today out of D.C., taking you out live right now. This is in the White House, where President Trump is expected to present the U.S. Naval Academy midshipman football team with their honor. Here he is. Let's go check in on Live Impact News on WCNC+. Have a great morning.
Thank you very much, please. Thank you. I want to begin by just saying we're doing extremely well in Iran. The difference between them and us is they had a navy 2 weeks ago. They have no navy anymore. It's all at the bottom of the sea. 58 ships knocked down in 2 days. And we have the greatest navy anywhere in the world. It's not even close. So, but we are doing really well. We're not going to let them have nuclear weapons, because if they had them, they'd use them, and we're not going to let that happen. It should have been done a long time ago by other presidents. So it's an honor to be here. This is fun. And these are great athletes standing behind me. Great coaches, general managers, great people, and a great superintendent. Hello, Superintendent. We only put our finest as these superintendents for these great schools because we don't want to have somebody that they don't look up to. We take our best, and they're really amazing. For the second year in a row, it's my great honor to officially present the Commander-in-Chief's trophy to the one and only Navy midshipman football team with 11 wins and 2 losses, playing the best teams in football. I used to always think of the military services, they played like a little step below. It's not true. They played the big teams and they beat them. These players achieved one of the most impressive seasons in Navy football history and any football history, frankly. And I just want to congratulate the midshipmen. I met them backstage and they're great. Thank you. Congratulations. You know, when I mentioned the Navy that we just destroyed, I said, are they good ships? Yeah, they're great ships. Then I said, why didn't we save them? We could have used them ourselves. They said the difference was they didn't know how to use them. Right, General? They didn't know how to use them. They had no idea. But I want to recognize Navy Athletic Director Michael Kelly, who has just done an incredible job. Thank you very much. He looks like a Kelly. He's definitely a Kelly. Along with head coach Brian Newberry, fantastic coach, Brian. We go off to the second best start for any football coach in school history. What's second? Who's first? It's pretty good. That must have been a Roger Staubach year, maybe, or something. Because I tell you what, I got to watch Roger Staubach, and he was something. It was like, I have to say, I've said it, and some people were insulted by it, but it was like a man playing with children. He would single-handedly win those games. It was incredible. Thanks as well to your superintendent, Lieutenant General Michael Borg-Schulte, who is an accomplished Navy linebacker, a very good one, back in the day. We're also pleased to be joined by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Now, I don't know if Pete's here because I actually told him he had an option, be in the sit room, you know, the famous situation, but be up here. And if it's okay, I told him, but I think he has 2 very beautiful sons up here, to the best, Boone and Jackson. Are you 2 guys? Well, I told your father, just be in the situation room. We're okay with that, right? I think so, right, Coach? Coach, I think you're okay. So Boone and Jackson, someday you'll be on this team maybe, right? Would you be on Navy, Army, Air Force? Which one? Take Navy. Just say Navy, okay. I don't want to get them in trouble. And your father's doing a fantastic job. And also the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane. So Dan is unbelievable, and I picked him for a reason because I was told it would take 5 years to beat ISIS by our television generals. You know, there's a big difference between generals, just like there is between coaches and everything else. They said, sir, 5 years, and I went to Iraq because I didn't understand why 5 years. And I met this general, and his name was Dan Kane. I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Raisin, sir." I said, "Really, Raisin? What is that?" "Raisin." "Oh, it's just my nickname, sir." "What's your last name?" "Kane." I said, "Your name's Raisin Kane? I love you. You're the guy I'm looking for." And it turned out to be right. So they told me it was going to take 4 to 5 years to knock out ISIS. And now I'm in Iraq. I come down and meet him, some other generals. He was the boss. And I said, "How long would it take for you to knock out ISIS?" He said, 4 weeks, sir. I said, 4 weeks? They tell me 4 years, maybe 5. He said, "Well, whatever they want, sir. They're the boss. I'm just here. But you can do it in 4 weeks, sir. And you'll have time left over." I said, "You gotta be kidding." And he explained, and we went through a whole big thing. Well, nobody in this room would be bored by it. Actually, you'd like to hear every word. I tell you every word of it. But bottom line, I said, "Let me go back." But as I'm leaving, it was very interesting. I'm walking down the stairs, long fight. I had to turn off the lights after spending trillions of dollars. You had to turn the lights off in the plane because you didn't want to be spotted by the enemy. This was something. So we land, and he said, "Sir, would you like to rest for a while before we have a meeting?" I said, "I don't have to rest. My name's not Biden. I'm not resting." And we had great meetings. And then I got back on the plane. I said to him, "So, General, you say 4 weeks? We mean that, right?" 4 weeks, sir, and you'll have time left over. He said, "I'll call you on Monday when I get back." And I called him. I said, "You still feel that way, General?" He said, "Yes, sir." And I let him do it. He did it in less than 4 weeks. He defeated ISIS. It was amazing.